بكلية آداب والعلوم الإسلامية جامعة ابن زوهر. My presentation is about freedom of speech and its impact on Moroccan press, evaluating survey by Moroccan English department students. So I'm going to proceed, you can see the slides. So I'm going to proceed using the IMRAD methodology, introduction, review, literature, methods, results, and discussion. As you can see for the introduction, in view of rumors, misinformation, and the spread of personal information, many laws have been issued by Moroccan authorities to control the press, and freedom of speech is defined as the ability to voice opinions and ideas without limitations. However, many rumors and misinformation are spread in view of the total freedom of speech. That is, a lot of freedom is something that is bad. Therefore, it is the objective of the current study to investigate the status of the freedom of speech and press in Morocco in light of some laws, as well as to evaluate some media platforms in terms of this freedom of speech. So for the literature review, there is a common saying in Morocco that states that one's freedom ends where the other's freedom begins. And according to Mill 1978, he stated that the only purpose for which power can be rightfully exercised over any member of civilized community against his will is to prevent harm to others. Press and news reporters work under the legal protections of the National Syndicate of Moroccan Press, as well as the Moroccan Federation of Newspaper Publishers. And in 2002, the High Authority for Audiovisual Communication was established. Furthermore, there was the creation of the National Council of Human Rights on March 2011. And there are many laws that regulate this freedom of speech. I'm talking about the Penal Code and the press law. So this is the literature review in brief. For the legal side, as I said, Article 25 from the Constitution defines it as it is guaranteed with all forms and without change except what the law clearly prohibits. Article 28 states that the freedom of speech is guaranteed, as I said, and the Ministry of Communication drafted the press law number 88, okay? And this press law supposes that if you want to be a journalist, you need to have the press card, okay? And you need to have a license from the authorities to take pictures, okay? So, and there are penal laws that prohibits even taking pictures of the others without their permission. Otherwise, you will be jailed, okay? So you have to be careful with this. The new press law obliges journalists, this is what I explained. For the methodology, I adapted cross-sectional design. For the questionnaires and semi-structured interviews are the two data collection tools. For the sampling, I use mainly non-probability sampling for the questionnaire. And for the data analysis procedure, data was analyzed through Excel 2010. So the research problem, it was noticed that many Moroccan media platforms deal cautiously with some issues. The current study aims to investigate the extent to which Moroccan media is free to some extent, and the research questions are as follows. What are the popular press media platforms in Morocco, and why do some media and press platforms report some events and not others? Okay, so for the sampling, as you can see, we have 35 male and 31 female respondents, so the total is 66. For the research results, for the frequency of reading news, okay, online, these are students, okay? As you can see, sometimes students read news online, okay? For the frequency of taking pictures of suspects by press reporters, people who commit crimes should not be photographed, okay? If that criminal, for example, decides to sue the reporter will go to jail, okay? So, however, in Morocco, we observe that criminals are filmed live and without any problem. This is against human rights, all right? So, for the more state control to the less state control, so as you can see here, like the Ola TV channel is completely controlled. This is the evaluation of students according to what they say. Deuxième also is completely controlled, it's obvious. For Hess Press, so the attitudes are divergent of students. And concerning some media platforms in English, which is Morocco World News, as you can see, it's moderately controlled. For the advantages and disadvantages of freedom of speech, as you can see, freedom of speech has like positive sides and negative sides. According to Moroccan students, they said that when we see some act in society, this will stimulate us to change and bring good things. So this is the positive side of freedom of speech. However, for negative sides, we have these rumors, we have misinformation, we have a lot of chaos there in case mass media is not controlled. So this is in brief for results and discussion. Moroccan media channels and platforms are mostly controlled, and students have divergent attitudes towards freedom of speech. And as conclusions, so the current study investigates freedom of speech as perceived by Moroccan English department students. The study has revealed that there are many laws that regulate freedom of press and the Moroccan media. I'm talking about the Penal Code, the press law, and the Constitution. And for the contribution of the study, it has shed light on the status of freedom of speech in Morocco. The sample size concerning the limitation of the study, the sample size is the major limitation. Concerning the respondents are English department students from this faculty. From this one. I target them using Facebook and WhatsApp groups. Great. So future research should focus more on how freedom of speech is used negatively. And it is highly recommended that media outlets observe the laws and stipulated in many texts. And these are the references that I have adopted. I would like to thank you so much for everything.